Tha awir nestu kuiruk. Ayer fun. Soir wu nisir tintina yewir. Wafun. Wo nisir wir uknoku nafifir. Patier. Soir uyufwis patuye? Uksair kun ni kakno aku kwawir fuisir aku fagita. Uksair caritas funir sisair furk tatasir, karanos sakupono. Uksir watawafu ni froto usosawir, uktatasir ni ryoki. Wonawiri fuiro tarir noka sisair na workur ktantir. Aka wo nawir sawir sansinoka uk napir. Narawir wo ifuir uk sunurk. Wo sair pinir sokart ayawir. Wo sair pinir sokart ayawir.
I want to hear that you're ready for your next fight. What do you need? Until the guild stepped in, I was ready to give you an attempt at the bronze division for your last match. Now it's time. Are you ready to face Crimson Kana, the finest sword this august arena has seen in 5 generations? Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Silver Phoenix stands to take control of the Bronze Division from Crimson Kana.
Kana's winning streak has been broken at last. I don't know if you've heard, but Kana has proclaimed that the first fighter who extriciates her from her championship will learn the secrets of her technique.
Wo sair pinir sokart ayawir.
Come now, the arena works on a strictly regenicated payment system for the fights. There's no way I can give you extra. I'm sorry, but there's no room for bonuses, extra payments, or gratitudes of any kind. You'll be fine with the usual winnings. Now that that's settled, what else can I do for you? When you walk the streets and hear your name among the crowds, be sure that your ego does not swell like the body of 11 gaping maw, god of inopportune gluttony.
Wo sawir noka ukraponi apawafa sonsir tuyewo. Wo nikfra fo wo sawir konpa. Ukwiro ni sayir tatasir yu, wo nawir sir funi winyanakan. Sata kwa wir ni wo sawir sawawira swir cook. Wo sawir noka ukraponi apawafa sonsir tuyewo. Wo ifuir uk sunurk danowe na wafta tasiruk. On mi pifir. Wonawir ifuir uk tarir noka sisayir na workur ktantir. Wo sawir noka uk raproni apawafa sonsir tuyewo. Wo sayir pinir sokart ayawir. tir nik puntuir. Pauir nokauk, soir takitir noni.
They say you're in good with the guild. You're allowed into the back rooms where Sweet Poison Lynn runs her shop, aren't you? I have a favor to ask of you when you have a moment. My name's Gambler Daushin, by the way. I run the straightest dice in the Imperial City. I wouldn't want to feed my children with tarnished silver, would I? Good odds and fair play. That's how I keep them coming back. A simple enough game called high-low. You predict how you'll roll against my toss and double your coin if you're right. You'll catch on easily enough, I'm sure. I know you're allowed to go freely into the back room past Kui's office. Would you carry a message to someone in there for me? There's a merchant in the back named Sweet Poison Lynn. She has connections with the guild, the real authorities in this place. I want to expand my operation, but without the guild's approval and protection, I can only take very small bets. If I made any larger transactions, they'd be quite upset. I spoke to some of the lesser guild members, and there's a set fee that must be paid to Sweet Poison Lynn. It took me some time to save up the silver, but I have the fee. I just can't get back there to talk to Lynn and pay her directly. If you could go in there and pay her on my behalf, I'd happily repay you. My thanks. I'm sure Sweet Poison Lynn knows about my interest. I've been angling this deal for a while. You should run back there now. The sooner you go, the sooner we can up the antes.
What do you need from me? Dao Shen? He has angled for a long time for our permission to run a larger game. He's honest to a fault, but he still pulls in a fair bit of cash. I was wondering if he'd be resourceful enough. One of my associates has already told him of the cost involved. Are you here to deliver his payment? His payment? Good. Give it to me, and I'll send someone to go discuss the new terms of his operation. Now, back to our business, yes? I'll be here when you need more of my goods.
Before you say a thing, I had a visit from one of Sweet Poison Lynn's contacts. Fantastic news! I can up the bets! Now you can wager 10 or 25 silver on each roll. This is perfect! And I have you to thank. Thank you again for paying the fee from your own silver. Here's your repayment and a little extra for your time. A thousand thanks to you. I promise to use your generous gift wisely. Now that we can play for larger bets, let's say we set up a game. Thanks again for all your help. Be seeing you around, I hope.
The Bronze Division champion approaches. I hope you're ready for the challenge awaiting you in the Silver Division. Remember, Soldier's the champion at this level. He'll be watching you.
Dogs nipping at my heels aren't worthy of watching.
What do you need? Now that you are champion of the Bronze Division, the Silver Division awaits. It seems that, indirectly, the Serpent has decided to keep your career interesting. A demon has been added to the regular roster since your earlier victory. And since you've shown aptitude, I'm letting you face him first. This is indeed an honor, though it will not be easy. Are you ready to defeat this horror? Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Will the demon rend flesh from bone, or will a lone warrior prove stronger?
Another demon falls. We shall have to add a new division for you alone if this keeps up. Kylon the Serpent wishes to speak with you personally. This is a rare honor. Do try to be polite. You have already been granted access to the back room of the arena, and the Serpent's private chamber is just off of it. You may as well go now and see what he wants. Oh, and one other thing. The Serpent has requested that you visitate him alone. I know you usually have a friend with you, but they'll have to remain behind for this meeting.
We should have told you that Kylon will only see you alone. Are you ready to go in now?
I'll wait out front with the others if you need me. Be careful. I don't trust this situation at all.
It is vital that we talk a moment. You handled yourself well against the demonic servitor. It was a rewarding experience for us both, I'm sure. Take this as my thanks. You are a young man, but I know you have the wisdom to see that my friendship has advantages. You may find that certain opportunities, mutually rewarding arrangements between us, will come your way in the near future. Cheat is such a pedestrian term. I prefer to think of myself as a creative engineer. Like the fountains that channel water throughout the land, I spread entertainment to the people. Right now is an interesting time for an organization known as the Guild. I've no doubt that Qui has told you about us, if you didn't already know. Our organization is involved in many different activities, most of which operate below the view of the authorities of this great empire. Come now. We're above calling each other names, aren't we? The Guild, you see, has recently developed a vacancy in its upper echelons. A man by the name of Gao the Greater has been killed, and with his death, a new leader must be chosen. I intend to replace him in that role, and I need good people to back me. Did you? An interesting claim, and one I'm not sure I believe. You don't match the description we have of the killer, but then the descriptions are fairly tenuous. If you are the one who killed Gao, then I owe you a favor. Consider my reluctance to turn you into the Lotus Assassins a repayment for that debt in full. There is the matter, however, of your friend, Whirlwind. I'm sure you know that he was one of the fighters here and that he left the arena. But do you know why? Whirlwind's past is certainly a colorful one. Did he tell you that he was thrown out of the arena? Public displays of rage and drunkenness, uttered threats of murder, excessive violence, property damage, and I believe several charges of defecating in public. If you trust him, you are a fool. The Black Whirlwind is an impressive fighter, but he is better avoided than confronted. We couldn't let him fight as he was, so he left. His brother, Raging Ox, wisely stayed here and went on to become champion. You could reach that point yourself, you know. Indeed, that's a distinct possibility. To become champion yourself, you will need my support. That means you and I will work together closely. You place yourself in a precarious position, my young friend. I would hate to see your career stagnate. You see... What is that noise?
Hey, you can't...
Damn you, serpent! I'll kill you where you stand!
No, you won't, Whirlwind. Just like last time, you will leave. I can see that this polite discussion has concluded, as so many do, in your odorous presence. We may talk again, perhaps.
We're leaving now. You and I have to talk. Alone. It's important. Look, you can't trust Kylon. I know he was probably offering you the world, or maybe all the wine in it if he were really crafty, but...
You didn't honestly think you were going to slip down here after that little display, did you, Whirlwind?
Step back, Joe. For once in my life, I've got something important to tell someone.
You have nothing important to say, you lummox. You've embarrassed Kylon the Serpent, and I'm going to make sure you never get a chance to repeat your performance.
I've been waiting for this. Time to cut off the serpent's tail! He fought like a monster for a little guy. Good point, but he was particularly plucky. It's nice when they stick around longer so you can practice your moves. Not the first time I've gone up against one of Kylon's thugs, you know. Not at all. Remember I told you I used to fight in the arena? Well, I was the best there was. Then my brother came to the city and decided he'd join the arena too. The arena was about the same as it is now. Kui and Kylon were there and Lucky Cho too. but he was just a runt back then. My brother became the arena champion, the Raging Ox. They said he retired, but he didn't retire. He was killed. I should know. I'm the one who killed him. Raging Ox was one of Kylon's men. Well, he wasn't always. Kylon approached me first, and when I turned him down, he went to my brother instead. When Ox joined up with Kylon, I stopped getting good matches. Ox was fighting his way to becoming champion, and doing a little work for the guild on the side. He was so cocksure and wouldn't listen to his older brother. Once he fell in with Kylon, he stopped talking to me. Soon Ox became Kylon's enforcer and carried out his bidding. He'd skulk around in robes so no one would know the arena champion was a common thug. One night I followed Ox back to Kylon's. I was drunk and I was mad. I just wanted to tell Ox how dangerous Kylon was, convince him to leave. But Kylon was there. He tried to interfere. I attacked him, and Ox tried to stop me. When it was over, Ox was dead, and my axe was covered in his blood. Kylon just stood there, smiling. I would have killed him if I wasn't so stunned. After that, I left. For the first time in my life, I ran. I ran, and then I drank myself into a stupor that lasted for half a year. You do what you have to in the arena. Just don't fool yourself about working with a serpent. Lucky Cho's death just put you on the serpent's wanted list. I'd really like to see Kylon's face if you become arena champion. Of course, I'd rather just kill him. Come on, let's go.
I am honored that you have chosen me.
While I cannot see you, are you here for a Of course.
I want to hear that you're ready for your next fight. What do you need? This next fight should be fairly simple for you. I once more want to send you up against 4 opponents. The crowd loves those fights. These are tougher than the students you faced before, but should pose no problem. Are you ready to get started? Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
We found him just like this.
You did?
3 Reach, the old stableman, found him. He kept everyone else out.
We can trust him. What about Cho? Do we know who's responsible?
Last I saw of him, he was following Silver Phoenix.
He fights next, doesn't he? Replace the men slated for that match with our own, and ensure that their blades are coated with extract